let's bring Justin on. How you doing, Justin?
Hey, Mr. Christopher, I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh man, I am doing great. So I am so honored. It's kind of freaks me out to have somebody so young on the
Thank
show,
you
and
so
it's
much.
just
I'm
an
honored
honor
to
to
be
have
here.
you on here. Man, it's just so cool. I mean, okay, so I saw this video and I was like, how old is Justin now? And I saw this video, and there was some video on YouTube. If you just look up your name on YouTube, there was some video that says Justin Lee Schultz, 15, plays on blah 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 blah, and it was done a year ago. And I was like, okay, so that must mean he's 16 now. And then of course your dad got on and was like, nope, he's not 16.
Yep, I'm 13. Yeah.
I can't believe you're 13. Unbelievable.
Thank you.
All right. So, and I said this before that I ended up on a rabbit hole. I'm a huge David Sanborn, Bob James fan. I'm, not really closet. I love that stuff. And, I spent a lot of time with a lot of friends who were really, really hardcore into jazz. And so, got the Dave Weckels and the Chick Coreas and all those guys. And
Yeah.
so, and I got to hear a lot of that music. And, for some reason I was down a rabbit hole, and then all of a sudden you popped up.
Really?
And you were doing a cover of Chick Corea song. I think it was Spain, I think.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I was totally taken aback. I was like, who, and you looked even young. I mean, I think that's a current video, isn't it?
It depends, because we did Spain so many times, so it depends which video.
That's just, I mean, it's just crazy to me that it's just unreal. So I ended up down this rabbit hole with you, and I stumbled upon this piano piece, and it was a real quiet scenario. And I've never been able to, I don't know what the song was. It may have been an original. I don't know, but you were just in the zone, just playing some, and I literally was just holding my breath the whole time I'm watching you play. And I'm thinking to myself, man, what exactly does it, what has to happen in somebody's mind? Because this is, it's a mind thing, right? It's a brain thing. It's like, what gets switched on in order to make somebody just be able to connect with music the way that you do? So to kind of help people out here and let me shut up for a second and doing all these glowing reviews, tell people a little bit about you and how you guys started, because I know your family's a musical family, but kind of give us a little bit of history of you.
So I'm 13 years old. I started playing music when I was around 5 years old. My dad is a jazz guitarist, so I would always go to his rehearsals and go to his shows, and I think that's what kind of drew me to music. And plus my sister plays drums, so it was kind of already in the family. So yeah, we're all in a band together. It's called the JLS Experience. So yeah, that's kind of the origin story, I guess.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that's kind of what people want to know, is just, where you, because did I read this right, that you were born in South Africa?
Yes, I was born in Johannesburg, South Africa, and we moved to the States in 2015 when I was 8. So yeah.
Okay, so so you said your dad was actively involved in writing and just just being a performer itself. So about what age was it that you got behind a keyboard and just started tinkering around?
Well, I actually have the exact date. It was April 7th, 2012. I just turned 5 that February, so I was 5. There was a keyboard in the house, and I just started twinkling around on it, see what I could do. So yeah.
It's just great. Now I know that you're planning on playing tonight, but just for those folks that are here that have never heard you play, just play a minute of something, just so people can kind of get an idea of your prowess. Just so people can get a little taste of you. So I'm gonna let Justin play just something for a minute, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more.
Okay, I'll play something we'll talk about later, but I think I'm gonna do a Bob James thing.
Oh, that'd be great. God. Or let me kind of give you a picture. For those of you who are not watching the video right now, not once did he look down at the keyboard. He was just, once again, he's in the zone and just playing. Not once did he look down. I mean, it just amazes me that do you read music?
Actually, I started reading music like 2 years ago because I was in this jazz orchestra, so I kind of do read music, but I definitely need to get back into it.
Yeah, I mean, because at that point you're a quadruple threat, really.
Thank
I
you.
mean, it's just, it's kind of one of those scenarios where I just um so let's talk. You got some brand new music that's
Yes.
coming out with Bob James. Matter of fact, I think I saw a video of you and Bob James sitting together at a
Yeah.
piano. I didn't get a chance to click play, but I was just like, oh, I got to save that for later because I absolutely got to watch this. So my first question is, this is kind of obvious. Most kids your age are TikToking or
Right.
doing whatever else they want to do. And I know you actually do TikTok, but you actually use it productively,
Yeah.
as opposed to what's happening now. But what kind of music is this? The kind of music that you listen to is like the Bob James and the Chick Coreas and things like this, or are there any current artists that you like at all?
Yeah, so mainly I kind of try to be like all around genre-wise when I'm listening to music. So I listen to like Bob James, David Sanborn, Jonathan Butler, but I also listen to like Bruno Mars and Michael Jackson and Jimi Hendrix. So I try to keep it like all over the place listening-wise, so I don't like keep myself in a box of just jazz.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah.
And it would behoove me not to ask, since we have I know a lot, you may or may not know this, but a huge core of Funkatopia are hardcore Prince fans. Do you have any, have you dove into that catalog at all?
Yes, I love Prince. Actually, because I actually tour with Pieces of a Dream. So at the end
Right.
of our set, we go into like a Purple Rain type thing. It's awesome. So yeah, I love Prince.
Yeah, well, I will make sure that I am going to send your dad some specific, very, very keyboard specific files that are not typical top 40 type Prince. They're a little bit more deeper cuts, but
Awesome.
yeah, I want to make sure that you add this to your repertoire because
sure.
he was amazing. But if I sat down at a piano at a party, we just happened to go to a party, maybe it's like some cocktail party, a bunch of grown-up folks walking around in suits, and there happened to be a grand piano that was sitting there, and I sat down and played what you played, I would be the hit of the party right out of the gate as an old 52-year-old man. But you're 13 and you sit down and you're just a friggin' just a monster. And
Thank you.
I can't, it's just hard for me to fathom. And so do you feel like is piano where you're most comfortable? Because I know that you're a multi-instrumentalist and you play a lot of other instruments as well, bass guitar and things like that. Is there another instrument that you feel just as comfortable on?
Well, since I've been playing the piano for 8 years, this is definitely the one I'm most comfortable on. The other instruments like guitar, I've only been playing for like a year, and bass only for a couple months. So this is definitely where my most comfortable at. Where I'm most comfortable at. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you doing some type of back and forth with another artist. I can't remember who it was with the guitar. You guys were kind of tossing back and forth some licks, and I can't remember who that was. But it's still just shocking to me how fluid you are and how easily that you pick up these instruments. And you said you don't read music, but the way that you play is very, very technical. There's a lot of music theory in what do you just feel it's just pretty much just come naturally to you? I mean, or is there something else, other process that you go through when you're learning music like Bob James?
I think it comes naturally, but like there was also a lot of practice involved. So once I get like something soaked in, then it just kind of naturally comes since I've been practicing it a lot. Oh, but actually, I do kind of read music, but just to clarify, I do kind of read music, but not as much as I used to. So yeah.
Right. So when you're watching, say like you see a specific video of like Stevie Wonder or somebody playing, are you? And I'm not a keyboardist, but as a keyboardist, what are you paying attention to on as you're watching videos? Or are you watching their fingers? Are you watching their techniques? Are you just listening to it? What are specific things that you pick out in order to learn a song?
Oh, well, if I'm just listening to the song, I'll listen to the melody. I'll listen to like how he's singing. But if I'm like actually transcribing something, I will like intensely listen to the piano over and over and kind of listen to the techniques or watch his techniques and try to mimic that so I can incorporate it into my playing. So yeah.
Is there a specific song that you are currently trying to learn that is maybe you can't nail, or has there been a song that you've tried to learn that just really, really frustrates you, or that took you a long time to really grab a hold of?
Well, there was this one song. Are you an Oscar Peterson fan?
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
yes.
So there's this solo piano album, and there's a song called "Body and Soul" on it, and it kind of starts like. So that's how like the song starts. But at first when I was transcribing it, I struggled. But that's like the whole point because I wanted to push through and like practice it until I got it. So yeah.
That's just got to be so frustrating. There's some things that, I'm a professional vocalist. And so, I mean, I haven't done that in a long time, but back in the day I was a singer in many bands.
Nice.
But some things would happen where, there was just some vocalists that I just couldn't get to. I couldn't match the vibrato or the runs, or it was just too difficult for me to, nail things. So is there any type of artist like that besides Oscar that really just kind of make you frustrated every time you hear? Is like, God, how is he doing that?
It depends. Like my piano teacher, he's like the best jazz pianist in my opinion. And like sometimes he'll play stuff like maybe like a really fast lick, or he's like playing really like it's so crazy. He'll play like something like something really melodic, and I'll be like, how is he doing that? So definitely my piano teacher. On different instruments, like maybe on guitar, George Benson. I'm a huge fan of his, and I'm like, how does he do that? So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I got some fans in the house. Elsie said, Justin, been following you on Instagram. You never cease to amaze me.
Thank you so much.
And of course, we know who Julius is. He says, you have a great piano teacher too. You already gave him a shout out. So there's a second shout out from your dad.
Shout out to my dad too. He's a beast on guitar.
Yeah, we were watching kind of, I think it was America's Most Musical Family, which is a really awkward name for a TV show. Yep. But they should probably just go with an acronym. But very, very specific show. Yeah. So how did you guys get onto that show, or how did you hear about that show? And then, of course, how do you go about picking a song to perform something like that?
Well, I think one of my dad's friends actually sent like a poster of the show to him. I'm not really sure how we got on the show, but in terms of picking out music, they kind of gave us like a sheet of like music that we can like rearrange, and they also gave us the power to like pick a song, and if it clears, then we could play it. So yeah.
And it's so I saw the video of you when you went to go see Kevin Whalum. And he actually brought you up on stage, and that's when he called you the prodigy to the highest degree. And of course, you have to. I don't know, how old were you when at that show?
I think I was maybe 11 or 12. Yeah.
And you go in, you step on the stage with these jazz greats, and you just totally took control at 11 or 12. Doesn't matter. Even if I say 12, it's crazy. And you totally took control of the stage. You were, showing the band what to do. You were making eye contact. You were in touch with everything that was going on there. So you just completely feel totally at home on stage, pretty much. And I've seen some NAMM performances too. So do you just feel like that's just any butterflies at all?
Oh, well, I tend to get butterflies like just before I'm on stage, but like once I'm on there, everything gets calm. I'm enjoying myself with my dad and my sister on stage. So yeah, I'm definitely comfortable on stage. Oh, and the crazy thing about the Kevin Whalen thing was we didn't even have any rehearsal. I didn't even know I was gonna be playing up until I think like 10 minutes before he called me up. So yeah.
That's just insane. So they hadn't even prepared for that song at all. They just kind of yeah, and it sounded totally and there were so many nuances to the songs that you were playing. There were high parts and low parts and breakdowns and it just seemed like it was totally just in the flow. Do you foresee yourself releasing your own album? Just specifically Justin Lee Schultz, that just you, not necessarily with the family thing, but do you see something like that coming in the very, very near future? Because you seem to be, a very, very successful at what you do from social media standpoint.
Well, actually, my debut album is coming out November 13th.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
It's called Groove Kid, and it's going to be through Shawnee Records as well. And my dad produced and helped me arrange the whole thing. And my sister played drums on a couple songs. So yeah, November 13th. Nice.
Man, I'm be so looking forward to that. I'm make sure that I stay in contact with your dad. I got to get some early clips to put in rotation on the radio show. So Obed says, greetings from South Africa. He says, great stuff, boy.
Thanks so much. and on the album, there's going to be Bob James, Najee, Jill Albright, Pieces of a Dream, Jonathan Butler, more. It's crazy. I'm super excited.
So yeah, see, there's another Prince connection right there is Najee. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Najee played with Prince on the One Night Alone. Well, actually, with One Night Alone, it was the tour right before that. And for those who've never seen Najee, it was just amazing. He's one of these guys that can just hold a note for what seems like forever. Man, what a guy. I got another more love here from you from Patricia saying, hello, Justin, sending love from South Africa. So proud of you. Big love to your dad.
Thank you so much, Miss Patricia.
And then Maxine, I can't wait to watch this kid's music. Gonna check him out. Oh, it's just you have to you have to just go down a rabbit hole with Justin in these YouTube videos for sure.
Thank you so much.
I mean, it's just unreal. And so and as I said, current artists, even current artists, you mentioned Bruno Mars, but then you kind of went backwards and you were like Michael Jackson and some other artists. Is there anything to me as an old guy, and I'm sure that your dad feels the same way, that a lot of music that's on the radio today, the radio specifically we're talking about, terrestrial radio, it really to me is just very, very disposable. Is there anything that you feel like is out there that you think is worth a second listen to? I was able to pick somebody out. I kind of felt like, even though it's a little bit more electronic leaning, I felt that Billie Eilish was doing something that was very, very different. And I thought that she was really creative for what she was doing. Is there anybody in Top 40 radio today that even get your attention at all besides Bruno?
Maybe Billie Eilish. Yeah. Her music is pretty cool and makes you like kind of think too. So Billie Eilish, I'm not sure of anybody else, but yeah, maybe.
It's just amazing. So I want to ask, I had to get these notes in front of me because again, you've got this new album out that's coming out November 13th called Groove Kid. Can't wait for that. And so tell me what it's like to work with Bob James. I mean, I have to know what you're sitting down next to a legend, a jazz legend. So what's that like?
It's super amazing working with Bob James. It was a dream come true because since I was like 1 or 2, I've been watching his videos and stuff. So seeing him in person was just like a dream come true. Playing next to him was like, I was like over the moon. And even working with him, like I sent him the track that was going to be on the album. He killed it. I was super happy with it. It's so amazing. And
also, what's it like to work with Pieces of a Dream?
Pieces of a Dream is amazing. James Lloyd, the keyboard player, is like my uncle. We have a great relationship off and on stage. So yeah.
So what's it like? You know, again, we already talked about Kevin Whalen talking that you were the prodigy to the highest degree, but you've also received tons of praises from, you know, Quincy Jones and Robert Glasper, and also Harry Connick Jr. as well. So how does it make you? I mean, obviously you're appreciative of those comments, but do you kind of feel like, yeah, how does it make you feel when you hear all these legends saying that stuff about you?
You know, sometimes I don't even believe it because like they're so amazing, and I'm such big fans of those guys. Harry Connick Jr. I mean, Quincy Jones. He's like the literal GOAT, greatest of all time. So it's definitely unbelievable.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. And I got some more information here on your CD that's coming out too. Your dad, who's bassist, he also co-produced the CD too.
Yes, he co-produced. He wrote, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6 songs on the album. He played bass on some songs. He co-arranged with me on some songs. So yeah, he's good.
So I think somebody was asking here what all instruments can he play, and you name, obviously keyboard is your go-to, but also have listed here guitar, bass, talkbox, and what's a harpeggi? What is that? How do you pronounce that?
A harpeggi is basically
harpeggi.
Harpeggi is basically like it's probably like this long and this big, and it's a piece of wood with like 16 strings across. So it's kind of a mix of a keyboard and a guitar. And if you slide up the string, it's a chromatic scale, and if you slide across, it's a whole tone scale. So you kind of figure it out like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
definitely check it out. Like the tone is amazing. I even did a video of Spain by Chick Corea where I was playing guitar, keyboard, and harpeggi. So yeah.
Man, that's just great. And I think now that you've pronounced it correctly, I think I have heard of that before, but
yeah.
maybe it was Stevie Wonder that I saw play one before. It was something that he was incorporated with a talk box that he was also, it was something very, very similar to that.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder does play harpeggi. Corey Henry plays a harpeggi. Jacob Collier plays a harpeggi. A lot of people.
And you mentioned Quincy Jones. And what was it like meeting him? And have you got a chance to ever do anything with him yet?
It was so crazy meeting him. We actually went over his house, which was like unbelievable on its own.
Oh yeah, I bet.
He's
got a little money.
Yeah, yeah. It was in Bel Air. He was really nice, really down to earth. I got to play on his Bosendorfer piano, which was crazy. So yeah, it was really an unbelievable experience, and I was definitely starstruck.
Oh yeah, it's kind of hard, even if you're not a fan of Quincy Jones, to kind of. I did actually get an opportunity to actually meet Quincy.
Nice.
When I was your age, matter of fact.
Wow. Nice.
In New York City, and my mother has the picture somewhere, and I didn't really fully appreciate it to your extent about who I was with, but I was just like, I know that's Quincy Jones, and I got my picture taken with him. So it was cool to actually get my picture taken with him, but it really didn't realize the significance of it until much later in life.
Yeah.
But I know you want to play some music, and I know people want to hear you play and not hear me talk. So you said you were going to do something with Talkbox. What are you, what's your plans with Talkbox?
I can do some Bruno Mars stuff.
Oh, that'd be great. Sure.
Yeah.
I know we got lots of Bruno Mars. For those of you who are just joining us on Funkatopia or the Funked Up app, which is broadcast worldwide, I know there's people all around the world that are listening right now. My apologies for not introducing or interrupting this interview enough to keep reintroducing him, but you are sitting in with Justin Lee Schultz. We're doing a special Saturday night broadcast of Funkatopia Live with Justin Lee Schultz, who is this, I mean, I hate using child prodigy because somebody who is at the level that you're at musically deserves to be able to shake the title of child. You're just a prodigy, just flat out, just a prodigy, a musical prodigy. Yeah, you're just amazing. You can definitely go on YouTube and hear him do his thing, but he's going to play a little something with Talkbox. He's going to cover a little bit of Bruno Mars right now. So I'm going to mute myself and get out of the mix and let Justin do his thing. All right, go ahead, buddy.
Thanks, Mr. Christopher. Let's
no
go.
problem.
Oh, it don't mean I can't Yeah, when we turn next weather. So tonight I'm gonna show you all when we're with you. Don't you change something that's what you do. I know that you don't play no like somebody. Don't play no we actually really love this. It don't make no sense. I need really honest. You know it, that I can really honest. It don't make no sense. It don't make no
Gosh. I hope I didn't freak you out switching to solo view, but I was realized people don't want to just watch my face while you're playing. Oh my gosh. I can't even begin to thank you enough for coming on the show, Justin, because
Thank you for having me.
it's, as I said before, you probably didn't, I don't know if you or dad got an opportunity to hear a little bit of the pre-show, but as I said early, it literally is like being able to sit down and talk with somebody who is like right on the cusp of explosion, because
Thank you.
the amount of talent that you have is just stunning. It's just, I can't even, I would love to come and actually see you in concert just to watch you play, because the way that you play, the how effortless it is to you and how you were just in that zone is just so fantastic.
Thank you so much.
How can people, I mean, before we go, I want to make sure that we do a couple things. For sure. We've got, Donna says, wow, super cool. Obviously.
Thanks, Miss Donna.
Yeah. So we got, and Brian Davis says, fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks for your support.
Maxine got his Stevie Wonder going on. Absolutely.
Yes.
And he actually does do a cover of Do I Do that I saw online. Oh my gosh. So it's just unreal. Have you ever heard from Stevie at all? Has Stevie ever reached out to you?
No, but I hope to meet him in the near future, though.
I hope so too, because you guys would be perfect. Oh my gosh, just unbelievable.
Oh, and Do I Do is actually going to be on my album. I'm doing Talkbox on it, so yeah, we have.
Oh, so you'll definitely hear from him. Yeah. Anytime that he gets a royalty check, he finds out who's what. So,
right.
Yeah, and of course, Maxine said, doing 3 things at once. Wow. Patricia Jacobs, yeah, and a bunch of emojis. I don't even know what some of those emojis are. Yeah. Gloria says, "Oh, wonderful, Justin." And Patricia's like, "Oh my word, yes." And Andre's nice. Just kind of giving you. Andre says, "Future genius." Gloria says, "Incredible." Yeah, it's. I mean, literally, if you could see, I'm surprised you can't see the chat thing, but it's just nothing but just wows and blown away faces. And
thank you.
Where can people find more information about you and your family and everything that you guys are doing?
On social media, my Instagram is official_Justin Lee Schultz.
Okay.
Our Facebook page is the JLS Experience. And my YouTube channel is called Justin Lee Schultz, just my name. So yeah,
nice.
That's basically where you can find us on all social media.
And it's just, I mean, so friggin' cool to have you on. And again, you have a brand new album out coming out November 13th. There's also a brand new single that there was, I heard, what was the single that was coming out that's, I guess, just came out?
Yes, it just came out yesterday. It's called Just In.
Just In. but
Yep.
I get it. I see what
Yep.
you did there.
Yeah, see what I did? Yeah. Written by James Lloyd, Pieces of a Dream, and Gerald Albright's on there, and Pieces of a Dream's on there. So yeah,
Oh,
check it out.
nice. So speaking of which, before we go on that, you have any of your original stuff that you wrote on here?
Yes, I do. I think I wrote about 3 songs, and 1 song I co-wrote with my dad. So yeah, originals.
I cannot wait to hear this album. It's going to be called Groove Kid, GRUV Kid.
Right.
Not so to make sure that you spell it correctly. If you're going to look it up,
Yes.
GRUV, space Kid.
GRUV.
Right, GRUV. And that's coming out November 13th, just 5 days before my birthday. So I'll make
Oh,
sure that your
wow.
dad gets an email so that I can get a birthday present of a CD signed
Awesome, for sure.
by the one and only Justin. Justin, thank you so much for coming and hanging out, man. I appreciate it. I am looking forward to seeing this on YouTube and try to help and spread the word about you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday. I know Saturday is probably the only free time you have nowadays.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Christopher. I really had a nice time.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, Justin. Guys, everybody give a virtual wave and thank you to Justin. Justin, thank you so much. We'll
Thanks
be
so
in
much,
touch.
Mr. Christopher.
We'll see you guys later.
See you
Adios.
later. Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. That was Justin Lee Schultz, and it's amazing because that is the ultimate. I mean, I love the fact to get him on the show, and I will definitely make sure that when his stuff comes out, we will get that super funky stuff, extract that stuff, make sure you get to hear it. I wanted you guys to be able to hear it because the guy is amazing. Oh my gosh. It's still shocking to me. It's still shocking to me.